Here's my latest Hordes game that I played against an opponent named Les. He's a PG in the area, and he was playing Legion with P. Thagrosh, and I was using Rasheth, who I really enjoy playing, especially against Hordes. His deployment's like this. His Ravagore is out on the far left. He's got Warspears with UA in front of them. He's got a Forsaken behind them, and beside the Warspears, he's got the Ogrun Chieftain. He's got another Ravagore next to that. His caster's in the middle. He's got another unit of Warspears with a UA, and another Ravagore behind that, as well as a Forsaken. He's doing tier 2 or 3. He gets the Ogrun Chieftain for free, I'm pretty sure. His prey targets are going to be my Gators on the left and the Bronzeback Titan to the right. By the left, Ogrun Warspears, and the right, Ogrun Warspears, respectively. So I learned from a previous game against a Khador player to really brick up my Titans. So that's why in the previous picture you could see that they were all next to each other. I'm pretty much clumped up. There's a lot of shooting, and I want to negate it as much as I can. On to Leslie's turn 1. His Ogruns move up, closer to their prey targets, and the Ravagores fire some Scather templates to try and slow my advance. This would work a little better if I had more single wound infantry, because each infantry takes 1 point of corrosion damage for going in them. But all my stuff has multiple wounds, minus the Paingivers, so also I can just avoid it. I can go around it. It's, as I said, much more effective against the single wound infantry swarm. His caster puts Draconic Blessing onto the Blighted Ogrun Warspears here, so they're going to be pound strength 17 against the Bronzeback Titan. That's a -2 to the damage roll. That's pretty crazy and scary. And Fog of War goes up too. So during my first turn, I like to do my little Rasheth trick where I run the Swamp Gobbers that are affected by the +2 speed from my tier list directly towards an opponent, and arc a spell out of one of them. It's really hard to avoid, and it's a pretty nice trick. Bronzeback runs to get out of the way of the Gobbers. And then my Titans just advance up, staying away from the Scather Cloud. Why take a point of damage when I don't have to? Agonizer runs to behind the wall, and I rile up a bit to replace Rasheth's Fury eventually. So here I arc a Breath of Corruption out of the Swamp Gobber, and I failed to kill any of them. I boosted on all 3 of those Ogrun that I hit, so it was the Warspear to the left and the 2 Ogrun to the right. I did like a total of 4 damage to one, 3 damage to another, and 3 damage to the Chieftain. Here my Gators move up. We went +1 defense and terror. Taskmaster gave him tough. Cannoneer took a shot and missed. And Paingivers ran up, did a little Fury management, and the Agonizer ran up onto the hill. So normally in Incursion, the middle flag goes out. This time, the flag to the far right went out. So that's kind of nice. I don't have much over there anyway. I think he may have been able to grab that objective easier than me with a Forsaken or a Ravagore moving on to it. Turn 2 for Legion. The Warspears on the right, or sorry, the left, who prayed the Gators, really failed. I was shocked. I thought a lot more Gators were going to die. I was actually really worried. Les just really whiffed his dice. I think he did a total of 4 damage to one of the Gators. 3 damage to one of the Gators. There you go. That's okay. He still got Ravagores, so I'm still scared. Of course, the Gators are also under the effect of Paralytic Aura from the Krea. They're kind of a good team to run together. And this is a Ravagore shot, so now the Krea and 3 Gators are on fire, but I think he, again, just whiffed the damage roll. Yeah, didn't do any damage to the Gator. Did a little to the Krea, though, apparently. I think he boosted the damage on the Krea for blast damage. So over here, the Warspears did some damage to the Bronzeback, and then kind of whiffed on the other 2 Titans. I think he didn't target the Sentry. I think he did a little bit of damage to the Gladiator. We'll see here in a second. So yeah, it looks like a healthy amount of damage there. Could have been a lot worse. Again, I think his dice rolls were just really poor. And not too much damage to the Gladiator. I think he missed with about half of them. Just kind of unfortunate. So this is a Ravagore shot on the Bronzeback, who is now on fire. And Bronzeback's taken a little bit more damage as well after that. Still no aspects missing though, which is handy. I won't have to spend a Paingiver activation to heal or any of my Caster's Fury to get rid of that. And here's the final Ravagore shot, which hits the Sentry, putting it on fire as well, doing 0 damage. Really a surprising turn. This army is so mean to look at, but when it doesn't do anything, it's just, wow, I'm going to kill a lot of shit next turn. His caster dumps some Fury just to do some management, and in the beginning of the turn he upkept both of his spells as well. So my turn 2 is going to be my punch you in the face kind of turn. He's up there in range of all my beasts. I have beat back, I have lots of attacks, I plan on taking a lot of shit out. Here's fire, it goes out on one of the Gators, and goes out on one of the Gators. Does some damage to the Krea, does some damage to a couple of the other Gators. Fire goes out on the Sentry, I think, who really doesn't care about it anyway. And I think the Bronzeback didn't take any damage from the fire, but it didn't go out. Here we can see some damage on another Gator. Looks like I got 2 left with 5 health. And the Krea is continuing to take damage from being aflame. I was joking that flaming models should do more damage to the opponent because they're on fire when they get thrown at the enemy. So here Rasheth feats. He puts Carnivore onto the Sentry, who needs a mat buff, and he puts Rush onto the Bronzeback and Beat Back onto the Sentry. So that's Train Wreck from the Bronzeback. Gladiator charges over here after being enraged by the Paingivers and takes out 2 Warspears without breaking a Fury. And the enraged Sentry takes out the Chieftain and I think another 3 Warspears, or must have been 2. I was trying to beat back to his caster, but it was going to be iffy, and I missed one of the Warspears once, so I had to spend 2 Fury on it instead. So I decided just to go with the easy route. Bronzeback does the same thing, puts beat back on himself after moving, and kills a couple more of the Warspears. Only uses 1 Fury. That's just disgusting how much damage these guys can do. Cannoneer whiffs, doesn't do any damage. And I have to charge the Gators into the Warspears, unfortunately, instead of tying up the Ravagores, which is what I intended to do, had the Cannoneer actually hit his shot. So I take out 2 more of the Warspears with the Gators, and I try and charge the Ravagore to the left, or sorry, to the right, but I was a hair's width out of melee range. So this is the board after my turn. I ran the 2 Agonizers up, and they said -2 to damage rolls for all enemy war beasts. And of course, the Paingivers had previously enraged. Legion turn 3, and this needs to be a turn where he's got to get the job done somehow. His Forsaken comes over here and blows up onto my guys, doing about 5 damage to the Agonizer, but holy cow, he rolls at least 3 6s and then a 4 and a 5 on the on the Sentry and does like 13 damage to him. That's crazy. Armor 21 too. And yeah, Agonizer's taking 5 damage points. This is important. 5 is the important number. He really wants to kill this Agonizer so he can get Thagrosh in range to Mutagenesis on one of my Paingivers that I carelessly left next to Rasheth because I forgot about that spell. His Warspear here charges into the Agonizer, only does 1 damage with his Assault Shot, and then only does 1 more damage with his melee attack. So the Agonizer's still on 1 health. That means Thagrosh is going to have to charge him and get the job done. And because of doing that, he might not be in Mutagenesis range. Bronzeback just countercharges and kills a Forsaken. He forgot the way countercharge works. I asked if he wanted to take it back. He said, "No, it's cool. We already did it." Very sporting. So here's a good move by my opponent. The Ravagore throws my Sentry out of the way, just so Thagrosh can get his extra base space to get closer to that mutagenesis range. So I believe I forgot to take pictures of it, but he did indeed mutagenesis with Thagrosh right next to Rasheth and whacked him for a good amount. As we can see here, I had to transfer the first damage. He did 11 damage. He rolled a 5 and a 6 for his first attack, which is crazy. So that went to the Cannoneer. Poor Cannoneer. And then with, I think, only 2 or 3 more Fury. He had 3 more Fury left. And swung at Rasheth for, I think, like 5 or 6 damage. And then he decided, after making 2 attacks, that he couldn't kill Rasheth, so he thought he should sit on 1 Fury, just in case I failed to assassinate him the next turn. The Warspear kills 1 Gator. That was... So we have one problem here. Rasheth, yeah, he's taken a bunch of damage, he's still got a lot of boxes left, but he's on fire. And look what happens. Holy cow. Left on 3 boxes because of fire. I was pretty worried about at this point. Also, for the fact that all my Titans are facing the wrong direction to deal with Thagrosh, so I kind of faced with a dilemma. Do I kill Thagrosh, or do I kill all his beasts? I could sit on all my Fury with Rasheth, and be really hard for Thagrosh to kill the next turn, but I'm just going to go for it, I think. Gators do some redundant killing over here of the last Warspear, and over here, Rasheth moves just within Thagrosh's melee range, casts Rush on the Sentry and the Gladiator. Gladiator activates, turns around, and knocks Thagrosh down with a headbutt. I believe I also put Blood Mark onto Thagrosh with all of Rasheth's Fury. And I actually ended up finishing Thagrosh with a Cannoneer shot after being knocked down. So, that was the game. Very close though. He got me down to 3 boxes. I did not see that long-range mutagenesis assassination coming, and had he rolled a bit better like he did the first attack, it could have ended much differently. Also, now that we know the result of the fire, if he'd have spent that last Fury and made that last attack, he definitely would have won the game. So when you're in that situation, just go for it. Spend all your Fury. There's no point in not spending it, because you're going to lose anyway. So my apologies if the video seems short or with a lack of vision and a lack of afterthoughts. I'm just really tired. I've been tutoring again ESL. I have a 6-month-old kid, and what else do I need to say? I've been painting a lot for different people and companies as well, so maybe I'll have to post some of my projects in the future. Also broke my airbrush today, which really pissed me off. Anyways, see you next time.